Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, and John Vias, Peter Brown with the weather, Gretchen Carey with the community calendar, and Anthony Matos with sports. Thank you for joining us. Burlington Public School employees will need to at least get their first dose of one of the COVID-19 vaccines before early October or risk facing losing their jobs. On Tuesday evening, the Burlington School Committee voted unanimously to approve a policy mandating vaccines for all district employees. There are narrow exemptions which must be documented for medical and religious reasons. An earlier version of the policy initially allowed employees who did not work directly with children to choose to get weekly testing instead of the vaccines, but members of the committee said they thought it should apply to everyone. After gathering, they were in agreement on making the mandate apply to all employees. The committee then worked on figuring out the timing of the policy's implementation. They landed on October 5 for at least the first dose of a vaccine because the district has a free vaccine clinic scheduled for October 4th. They did add that employees are by no means required to get the vaccine from the school clinic, but wanted to at least have one available before implementing the policy. Under the policy, anyone with valid medical or religious exemptions will be required to undergo weekly testing. Member Christine Monaco said she also believes it's necessary to have all staff vaccinated to protect the students, especially those not eligible for a vaccine. Here she is.
A little over a year ago, my husband got COVID and I got COVID. And I have very strong feelings about this whole thing because I don't want any child who is not eligible to be vaccinated to go through what we went through. As Martha said, the vaccine is fully approved, it's safe, it's free, and we need to protect everyone who works in the schools and all of the kids.
Finally, the committee and administration will have to work out impact bargaining with the teachers union in regards to the mandate. Anthony Darren Klein of KP Law, advising the committee, said he believes the negotiations can come after the policy is put in place. Superintendent Conti provided the school committee an update on a new program using rapid testing to help keep more students in the building. It's called the Test and Stay, and it allows any student identified as a close contact to remain in school if they get a rapid test in the morning and it comes out negative. Students must test negative 5 days in a row before they are out of the program. Dr. Conti said the rollout of Test and Stay has seen some bumps and that the district only received the test the week before. Also, the company the state contracted with to track the cases does not have its software fully up and running. The goal, he said, is to begin Test and Stay by October 1. Assistant Superintendent Patrick Larkin said that while promising, even when the program is implemented, it may be difficult to put in practice. He pointed out that if an elementary school had 2 or 3 classes identified as close contact, that would mean 30 to 45 kids would need to be tested every morning and then wait the necessary 15 minutes to get the results. Here are his comments.
Just want people to think ahead about the logistics involved. It sounds great, like let's test and have people stay in school. We are 100% for kids to be in school. We love having them back. It's been a good start, but there's some logistics here that I just want people to start to think about concretely because it's not as easy as it sounds.
The administrators also explained that students in the Test and Stay program should still quarantine when not at school or school events. For instance, they can attend after-school events but should not engage in activities like dance or karate classes. Local officials, residents, and first responders gathered around the town common to remember the 20th anniversary of the devastating attacks that took place on September 11. BNews reporter John Vias was at the event and files this report.
Saturday morning, on the 20th anniversary of a day that changed our country and the world forever, residents gathered on the town common to remember the first responders and innocent civilians who lost their lives on the morning of Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. Local Burlington officials were there to speak, along with the Burlington Fire Department, the Police Department Honor Guards, the BHS Chorus, and bagpiper Joe McGrath. The ceremony was coordinated by Selectman Bob Hogan, who said the town could not let the 20th anniversary go by without a proper ceremony after not being able to hold one last year due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
I was just so thrilled that so many local people decided to come out and spend this time with us to remember all that's gone on in the last 20 years and how it started 20 years ago and how after 2016 all of this happened.
This year's ceremony was in memory of 4 Burlington natives. Wreaths were placed on the common in their honor, one of these men being Brian D. Fortini, a BHS graduate from the class of '95 and a New York State Trooper who passed away from occupational cancer related to his search and rescue assignment to the World Trade Center site following the collapse of the Twin Towers.
And he had been serving for 16 years. 7 of the state troopers contracted cancer and died. January last year, he finally succumbed to that cancer. We couldn't do anything last year because of the pandemic, but this year we were determined to start the process to get him acknowledged and have his family join our 9/11 family.
Selectman Hogan says that as time passes on, the words spoken in the aftermath of 9/11, being "we will never forget," have been slowly fading away. This year's ceremony serves as a reminder to keep those words alive and to never forget one of our country's biggest tragedies, and to never forget the brave first responders who put their lives on the line on that fateful day.
We can't ever become complacent about our security and our place in the world. We have to make sure that we're safe, our families are safe. In order to do that, we have to remember the worst of times, which was, in a particular case, 9/11.
From the Burlington Town Common, this is John Vias for BNEWS Weekly.
These, dear God, were willing to put their lives on the line.
The Burlington Police Department may finally get a new home. The Board of Selectmen welcomed Police Chief Thomas Brown to this week's meeting to discuss the current station, a building first built in 1897, and the myriad of issues it has. Here's Chief Brown.
Tom Brown, Chief of Police. So I'm here tonight to discuss the agenda, obviously, for a new police department building. I understand from a budget standpoint, we all look at wants and needs. And when Chief Kent came in here back in 2010, he started to raise the call for a new police building. And back then, you could have said it was more want. Well, we're creeping up steadily towards a need. I think everybody here is aware of it. What I'm hoping to do tonight is, if you listened, and I know how government is going to work, it could be 6-7 years from now. Well, you have to have, from that end point, when the new building is in place, look back and say, did we meet the mark? Was it 6 to 7 years? So I would like tonight to be the official start of whatever that process is going to be, if that's possible.
Chief Brown detailed many problems with the building. I went there in the 6th grade. Starting with mold, mildew, and water damage. He said the building regularly has flooding issues, including during the week of August 6th of this year's department main evidence room flooded with water that leaked from the AC unit located in the ceiling. The male locker room is also so humid that they have lost thousands of dollars in uniforms and equipment due to mold. Chief Brown said they also have issues with the cell blocks. In total, they have 10 cells, but 2 are permanently out of service because access to the plumbing is blocked. Chief Brown said the building also has structural issues, and areas of the facility have started to crack and separate beyond normal settling. He said even the newer area of the station, built in '92, is showing cracks in the cement blocks. There are also issues with the plumbing, and there is often sewer leaks, and the building has the smell of sewer gas. Members of the board said they agreed something had to be done and thought that a new station should be a priority for the town. Here is member Bob Hogan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief, I can't agree more, and over the years we've had conversations, and it's still mind-boggling to me that I remember when I first came on, where we were with the annex Station 2 for the fire department, how long they had taken just to get to a certain point, and then 10 years went by before we actually opened Station 2, I hope we can do better this time. There is serious health and safety issues for the police officers, for the civilian personnel, for those who come and go in that building on a regular basis. I don't think people have taken seriously the summary that you have just given us again today. And yes, we should have done better years ago. But yes, let's make today day one on this journey.
A new station would be a multi-year project with an estimated cost of about $30 million, which town meeting would have to approve. Town Administrator Paul Sagarino said the project could fit into the town's bond schedules to reduce the impact on taxpayers. There has been some whispers of the possibility of the abandoned treatment plant down on Middlesex Turnpike, when and if that happens, being a possible location or rebuild. Burlington is receiving funds to help combat the pandemic and keep the local economy strong. Town Accountant John Denizio told the Select Board the town has already received half of $8.5 million in funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. The American Rescue Plan Act authorizes money to cities and towns through the Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Fund. Denizio said the first priority of the fund is combating the public health emergency and all of its ramifications. To that end, a portion of these funds will be reserved to provide funding for any unforeseen public health expenditures required to address the pandemic on an ongoing basis. There are other usages for the money, along with supporting public health. These include addressing negative economic impacts caused by the health emergency, replacing lost public sector revenue, providing premium pay for essential workers, and investing in water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure. Ineligible uses of the fund are pension and OPEB obligations. Denizio said the town plans to spend $500,000 in fiscal year 22 for engineering services and architectural design for the modification of the Mill Pond water treatment plant to filter out the PFAS chemicals. They also plan to spend $1.5 million over the next 3 years to put funds in the town and school operating budgets to replace income lost during the economic shutdown. The plan to use much of the remainder to reduce the taxpayer burden on existing water and sewer projects. The town of Burlington, in partnership with local business, is establishing Burlington's first pocket park to encourage foot traffic and patronage of the town's center businesses. BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak has this report.
Burlington's economic revitalization is starting from the center. The Burlington Town Center is set to be the home of Burlington's first pocket park.
When the Economic Development Office started, for one of the first things I did was really kind of engage with the community and like kind of the stakeholders. And one area of concern had been the town center. Like, how can we enliven it? How can we support our local businesses? And through kind of that initial kind of impetus and direction led us to the Mass Office of Housing and Development. I put a proposal together and they gave us funding for a placemaking project. And a placemaking project's really kind of working with what you got, looking at the space you have, and finding creative ways to make places for people, really. And what we're looking to do is take a few parking spaces and convert them into essentially like a pocket park, if you will, and an area that we can maybe do some programming in for the businesses.
So we've been working with Melissa on trying to find a way to move forward with some of the placemaking that she was working with the state on, and trying to find a couple of areas that we can dress up and start the revitalization and kind of take this as like a pilot program, and hopefully it will spread to other areas of the town center when they see that something like this can work. You know, dress it up, make it kind of a homey feel so people want to come down, spend time, interact with the businesses. So we picked this spot that we're at here because it worked for a few different reasons, but we think we can put in, you know, some artificial turf, some lighting, some furniture, and just dress it up a little bit to start and see what it is, see if we can get the people down here, and then really kind of go from there. And then maybe there's another area in town that someone else could work on and really just start to flow with a lot of people down the town center.
So we were lucky enough to rent this space from Murray Hills, and we have always kind of imagined doing a large-scale mural on the exterior of our business that celebrates Burlington, kindness, and kind of bringing the community together. When I met Melissa, it was kind of like synergy at its best, right? Like, so she had this great concept of a pocket park, and we had this concept of a mural, and it really tied ties these two spaces together. It gives the residents somewhere to go, to congregate, to kind of celebrate our town, and to kind of redevelop and re-energize this section of town for the businesses. We've talked to an artist. We've also reached out to the Burlington High School Art Department, which is fabulous. So we're hoping to get some local students involved in the project as well.
We have enough parking down here that we're able to lose a couple of parking spaces, and this is like a prime spot to do it because it's not in the middle of the parking field and it's not going to be in anybody's way. But the tenants are on board with the preliminary ideas, and hopefully it'll help them out. You know, their customers can come down here and feel like they're welcome down here, or we can have programs down here that bring more people down here. That's more customers for them. And the more we do, the more we hope to be able to include the tenants down here. If, you know, one of the tenants wants to have an event, they can have an event down here, and we can spur business that way too.
And create a space that would bring fresh interest to the town center and hopefully bring in new foot traffic and then support our businesses.
From the Burlington Town Center, this is BNews.
The Burlington Select Board issued a proclamation welcoming high-tech medical laboratory business to town during Monday night's meeting. They recognized the Azor Group, which has built a set of clean room labs at 60 Blanchard Road, for being part of the town's efforts to build a strong biotech industry in town. Azor Group President and CEO Ravi Samavidam, excuse me if that's incorrect, Ravi, said the business started out as a consulting firm, a function that still makes up the majority of their work, but they expanded into clean rooms on demand after noticing a niche in the market. He said when a medical company is getting to the testing phase, they need a clean room. These facilities are expensive to build, especially for a startup, and take a long time to complete. Alternatively, companies can partner with each other, often larger entities, but then they often must give up their exclusivity on their intellectual property. Azor provides clean rooms for companies without compromising their hold on their intellectual property or having them go through the time and expense of building their own. Samavidam said Azor takes care of all the permitting for the clean rooms and takes care of all the waste and aspects of running a lab. He said the company has a saying, the clients bring the science and we bring the compliance. As reported on BNews, Moderna, the maker of one of the 3 COVID-19 vaccines, has come to an agreement to be the first company to use Azor Group's building Burlington clean rooms. Members of the board were happy to welcome the company to town and present the proclamation. Here is member Nick Priest reading it.
All right, so here is the proclamation. Whereas Azor Group has selected Burlington, Massachusetts for its latest East Coast clean room on demand operation. And whereas a key aspect of Burlington's economic development strategy is attracting and retaining such companies. And whereas Clean Rooms on Demand offers pharmaceutical manufacturing space for small and fast-growing businesses in the region to better compete with the rapid discovery of life-saving biopharmaceutical treatments, vaccines, and medical devices. And whereas Azor Group's new Clean Rooms on Demand facility will bring approximately 150 new jobs and new economic opportunities to the town of Burlington. And whereas Azor Group's Clean Rooms on Demand facility will continue to establish Burlington as a leader in pharmaceutical innovation and support the growth of other companies. Now, therefore, we, the Select Board of the town of Burlington, hereby proclaim that the Azor Group is gratefully welcomed to the town of Burlington and its growing life sciences ecosystem. Signed by the board the 13th day of September 2021.
There was a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Monday for the new dance studio by DB Studios at 171 Bedford Street. BNews Director Rich Hosford was there and has this look.
There's a new place to learn how to cut a rug in Burlington. DB Studios opened their new dance studio at 171 Bedford Street on Monday with a ribbon-cutting ceremony organized by the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce.
Well, we're here welcoming DB Dance Studio to Burlington. During the pandemic, it seems like it's been nothing but bad news, but it's great news here today. Got a great turnout. It's a beautiful day. What a beautiful facility. For those of you that promised yourself once this pandemic got over, or I was going to change the way I did things, maybe take a dance lesson because this is a great organization.
DB Studios offers a wide range of dance lessons for people of all ages and abilities.
So we are DB Studios, which is a dance studio for both kids and adults. For adults, we have an adult ballroom program, and for the kids, we do ballet, jazz, tap, modern, and competitive style dance.
The thing most people who visit the studio will notice right away is the nicely renovated building.
Yes, it's completely completely renovated. It's all state of the art. So we have sprung floors, which are really important for dance. We have a very high quality marley, which is really good for ballet and jazz. We have very tall ceilings, so you can do lifts and acrobatic arts, and all of the equipment is state of the art. We love the community here, and this building was just too good to pass up. It's huge, nice, big space for kids and adults to dance, so we wanted them to have as much space as possible.
DB Studios puts an emphasis on hiring talented dancers to run their classes.
So we have all very highly trained instructors that either dance professionally or went to college, have a college degree in dance. That's our top priority, is to provide amazing instruction to keep kids nice and safe, and also give them the best dance education possible.
They also work to keep the classes fun and the students motivated.
With our slogan being "Dance Your Buns Off," we try and have as much fun as possible in a really supportive and engaging community. Our main priority is to have people build confidence and just have a lot of fun.
DB Studios currently has a place in Lexington, and this is their second location. Kendall said they have felt very welcomed in the community.
Really nice. Everyone's super helpful and accommodating and really friendly, and we're just really excited to be here.
You can find more information about their classes and how to sign up at their website at dancingbuns.com. From the new DB Studio at 171 Bedford Street, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
Burlington Parks and Recreation is excited to announce the return of fall programs. BNews reporter Robert Paris met up with Department Director Brendan Egan, and he has the details.
The fall is here, and so are the programs at the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department. I had a conversation with Parks and Rec Director Brendan Egan about the return of fall programs and special events.
Truck Day is coming up. We are going to be offering Truck Day. It probably won't be on the scale that former, past Truck Days have been, as people are, get more comfortable with coming out and attending community events. We did kind of, go slowly with this. We wanted to make sure Celebrate Burlington went well. Of course, Halloween Spooktacular is the big one in October, and that is up and ready to go. We're looking at October 15th, a Friday night, for a spooktacular event at Simons Park.
As the weather is cooling down, the community is looking forward to a better fall than the one they had last year.
Return to fall activities, family events and things like that take place, apple picking, getting your Halloween pumpkin, those kind of things really, are some of my favorites.
I'm Robert Paris for BNews Weekly.
We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown to see if summer is sticking around or if it's time to put on the fall sweaters. We'll also check out the community calendar with Gretchen Carey to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days. Here we are heading into the third week of September. I know it's hard to believe that the official start of fall is just about here. Summer has gone by, and we had quite a warm one out there, of course, except for July, where we saw tons and tons of rain. And starting our period on Friday, we're going to see some nice weather again, some real typical September weather out there, temperatures in the low 70s. We're going to be keeping our eyes on what might be a potentially developing tropical system to our south. It doesn't look like it's going to be very organized at this point. But again, with how many tropical systems we've seen affecting us this year, it's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Looks like it's going to throw a little bit of some breezy conditions and some maybe spot showers here and there to the Burlington area. Again, keeping an eye on it. Doesn't look like it's going to be anything really big for us right now, and it should be cleared out of here in time for the weekend. As we get towards the end of the period into Thursday, we are going to be seeing our temperatures at this time of the year supposed to be cooling down into the low 70s. And look at this, our average lows at night are now supposed to be in the upper 40s. Doesn't look like we're going to be seeing anything quite that cool, though, coming up in the next 7 days. In fact, we're going to have some very midsummer-like weather coming up as we look into the next work week. And of course, as you look at our length of day, the sun is now setting well before 7 p.m., and we won't be seeing it setting after 7 o'clock until we get to the end of next March. So as we go ahead, let's take a look what the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us here in the Burlington area in terms of temperatures and precipitation for the next 7 days. And again, looking at our temperature chances, looks like we have a really high chance of seeing above average temperatures. Nothing really different. We've seen some pretty hot weather this summer. June was the hottest June on record, so we might as well end out summer in that typical fashion. We're going to be seeing temperatures probably way up in the mid-80s by the middle of next week for the end of summer. As we look at our precipitation chances, this is something that's actually good news. We're looking at below average chances of precipitation. Again, we're going to have to keep an eye on that little storm that's passing us by on Friday. That could change that a little bit, but again, doesn't look like it's going to be too much in the way of rain for us. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. Again, starting on Friday, we're going to see average temperatures in the low to mid 70s with that chance of rain out there. Now, as we get into the weekend, looks like we have some beautiful skies. It's going to clear out, depending again on how close this small system gets to us. Looks like it's going to get away from here just in time for us to have beautiful Saturday and Sunday with temperatures in the upper 70s. So really nice last weekend of summer out there. As we start out our work week again, temperatures are going to be climbing, in fact, up into the mid 80s as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. You're going to be feeling kind of humid out there with a chance of maybe some showers and thunderstorms. As we round out the period, getting to Thursday, looks like a strong cold front will make its way through the Burlington area, putting our temperatures back down to the low 70s. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your Community Calendar. Come and listen to a discussion with our best-selling author. On Thursday, September 23rd at 7 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a virtual event with best-selling author James Patterson. Everyone is welcome and pre-registration is required. For more information, go to burlingtonpubliclibrary.org. It's movie time! On Friday, September 24th at 8 p.m., the Merrimack Valley Pavilion in Tewksbury will be having a family movie night. They will be showing Coco. Everyone is welcome to the event. For tickets, go to playatmvp.com. Get ready for the Festival of Lights. On Sunday, September 26th from 4 to 7 p.m., the Indian Americans for Burlington will be having the Diwali celebration on the town common. For more information, go to iabma.org. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
The Burlington Red Devils season is now in full swing. For all the latest action, we go to BNEWS reporter Anthony Matos for this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos, and this is your weekly sports report. Fall sports are in high gear at Burlington High School, and we have some updates on how everyone is doing. The football has returned, and the Burlington High School Red Devils had their first matchup against the Lawrence Lancers on Friday, September 10th. We have some highlights.
Red Devil football returned on the evening of Friday, September 10th at Varsity Field, as Burlington took on the Lawrence Lancers. During a third down attempt, Noak did a screen pass to running back Adam Eldeeb, and the play did not convert Burlington to a first down. Lawrence marched down the field and scored, as quarterback and sophomore Jaden Abreu ran it himself to give the Lancers a 6-0 lead. The extra point was no good. At halftime, the score was 6-0 Lancers. Lawrence scored at the beginning of the third quarter with sophomore and running back Jesus Perez 13-0 Lawrence. Burlington got on the board with a touchdown pass by senior quarterback Ronan Noak to his senior wide receiver Sammy Doherty, 13-7. Quarterback Jaden Abreu of Lawrence threw the ball to junior Andy Medina for another Lancer score, 20-7. Senior Starling Morales got in for Lawrence one more time in the fourth. Final score, 27-7, Lawrence.
Burlington drops to 0-1 on the season and will face the Tanners on Friday, September 18th at Woburn Memorial High School. Girls swimming began the season against the Woburn Tanners at Shawshene Tech Swimming Pool on Thursday, September 9th. Burlington came up short by 9 points in the 51-42 loss. The Red Devils start the season 0-1 and will face Winchester on Friday, September 17th at Shawshene Tech. As of this taping, the match is still to be played. Girls and boys soccer both played the Woburn Tanners on Friday, September 10th. The boys hosted Woburn while the girls were away. The boys suffered a shutout against their opponent as Woburn scored 4 goals in the match. The ladies ended up finishing the game in a tie. It was a very short break as the teams faced Winchester on Tuesday, September 14th. The girls lost the match 4-0 and dropped to 0-1-1. As for the boys, they finished the game in a shutout victory of 2-0. Each goals in the game were made by Ethan Baldessera and Alex DiVincentis. Burlington is currently 1-1 on the season. Both teams will be back on Saturday, September 18th as they take on the Reading Rockets. Girls varsity volleyball traveled to Woburn to take on their rivals, the Tanners, on Thursday, September 9th. Burlington won 3-2 in the sets. They faced Winchester in their home opener at Burlington High School on Monday, September 13th. We have some highlights from that game. Let's take a look.
Two teams at 1-0 in the Middlesex League faced off against each other on Monday, September 13th. The Burlington girls varsity volleyball team took on Winchester High School inside of the BHS Wooden Gym. Let's hit it. In the first set, the Red Devils had a 3-0 lead against their opponent. However, Winchester tied it up early as it was 4-4 on the scoreboard. Burlington had an additional 10 points, while Winchester finished the set score of 25. 25-14 was at the end of the first set, Winchester. In the second, things got intense, as Burlington was 5 points away from winning the set. After being down in a 4-point deficit, Winchester found a way to win another set as the score ended up being 25-22. In the third, it was all or nothing at this point for the Red Devils, as they had to win this set to stay alive in the game. Burlington made a little comeback, but wasn't able to defeat their rival in the final minutes of the game. 25-21, Winchester. We talked with Coach Winsey after the game.
It was a little rough. We started off pretty slow, had a lot of errors on our side, missed serves, missed serve receives. So I think we just need to work harder on more serving repetitions and serve receives.
The team traveled to Reading to take on the Rockets on Wednesday, September 15th. Burlington won the match 3-1. The Devils moved to 2-1 and will be hosting the Wilmington Wildcats on Saturday, September 18th at BHS. Boys varsity golf hosted the Watertown Red Raiders on Friday, September 10th at the Billerica Country Club. Burlington bounced back from their defeat against the Lexington Minutemen on September 8th as they defeated the Red Raiders 43-29. The team then traveled to Wilmington to face the Wildcats on Monday, September 13th, where they won 39-33. Another match was held the week, and this time it was against Winchester, where they finished the meet with a 57-15 loss. The team dropped to 3-2 on the season and will host Woburn on Friday, September 17th. As of this taping, the game is still to be played. Girls varsity field hockey had their first game of the 2021 season on Monday, September 13th at the Burlington High School varsity field, where they hosted Winchester. They lost the meet 18-0. They had a makeup game against the Woburn Tanners on Wednesday, September 15th. Burlington lost that match 2-1. Senior captain Jolene Russo made the lone goal for the Red Devils. Field hockey drops to 0-2 on the season and will travel to Reading on Friday, September 17th to face the Rockets. For more Red Devil action, go to the BNEWS Sports section at bcattv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNewsSports. That's all for your weekly sports report. I'm Anthony Matos. Back to you guys in the studio.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo was a close-up of nature. It was sent in by young Burlington resident Gwyneth McNamee and shows a white-tailed deer she spotted in a woody area of her family's backyard. It appears the deer was taking a bit of a rest and a nap in the comfort of the shade. Thanks for the photos, Gwyneth. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of your summer activities or now nearing fall activities, a family trip, or just everyday moments, whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. One final note, the Burlington Public Schools Administration is taping weekly videos with BCAT to update the community on the latest school news. You can watch the latest segment after the airing of this program and on our daily newsletter on Saturdays, Mondays, and Tuesdays. You can sign up for that newsletter at our website at bcattv.org. That's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Rich Hosford, Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, John Vias, Peter Brown, Gretchen Carey, and Anthony Matos. Thank you for joining us.